Holding So, you're thinking about promoting your business on Spotify. It's this easy. Write a script, pick a background track, then our team of experts will record the ad for you. Sounds good?
People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. So though in your heart trouble, hold your head up, I don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Take courage, hold on, be strong.
What are you about to say until I die?
Oh, how high would I climb mountains if the mountains were where you hide? Oh, how far I'd scale the valleys if you graced the other side. Oh, how long have I chased rivers from lonely seas to where they rise? Against the rush of grace descending from the source of its supply. 'Cause in the highlands and the heartache, you're neither more or less inclined. I would search and stop and nothing. You're just not that hard to find. I will praise you on the mountain, and I will praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are, so I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, and no less faithful when the night leads me astray. 'Cause you're the heaven where my heart is, in the highlands and the heartache all the same. Oh, how far beneath your glory.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, excuse me. All right. Good morning, everyone. Please, first and foremost, can you please occupy the seat in really behind schedule. For unforeseen reasons, we have to start right now. So we sincerely apologize to everyone right here. And thank you so much for coming to the second edition of the Town and Gown series, organized by the Mass Communication Department of Anchor University. Can you please put your hands together for yourself? No, we are not clapping. We are not happy. Please put your hands together for yourself. Okay, very shortly, a wise man once says that everything we do, we put God first, as He is the author and the finisher of our faith. Having said that, I would like to invite to the stage Chiamaka Iwanusi for the opening prayer. Chiamaka, please, to the stage.
Please, let's rise on our feet. In Jesus' name. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' name. In the mighty name of Jesus. Everlasting Father, King of glory, we thank you for today. We thank you for bringing us here. Father, receive all the praise and worship in the name of Jesus. Father, everything that the guest minister wants to impart to us, Father, we shall understand in the name of Jesus. Father, help us throughout this program in the name of Jesus. Go before us in the name of Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus, we've prayed.
Thank you very much. Please, can we all rise up as we take the national anthem? The national anthem. Please, can we all rise up as we take the national anthem? University School Anthem.
Anchor University, born of noble vision, to raise exceptional scholars, valiantly virtuous, planted here for a glorious mission, to be character illustrious, incompetence leading with passion, and integrity courageous. Anchor University, our great heritage, the home of character, competence, and courage, in a world of conflict and shifting values, on the solid rock our distinguished and beloved, and for rights, let's rise and pursue our Maker's honor, in a world that used to lead to hope in sight. Try to play the man and cast your anchor. Let's work to make the world bright, everyone a worthy ambassador. Anchor University, our great heritage, the home of character, competence, and courage, in a world of conflict and shifting values, on the solid rock our
Thank you very much. You can have your seats, please. I'd like to quickly welcome each and every one of us to Anchor University Lagos for the Town and Gown Second Edition Seminar with the theme, Growing Your Ideation and Content Creation Capacity in Communication Practice. This is Anchor University. It's a home of character, it's a home of competence, and it's a home of courage. This is where we build scholars of great height, distinction. Right on my list, I have a very distinguished guest in our midst. We have various capacity of people. We have people of great edifice. And first of all, I'd like to introduce the Dean of the Faculty of Social and Management Science. He is a man of action. He is a man of discipline. I think you'll be clapping here. Put your hands together for him. Please, can we all rise up? The Dean of the Faculty of Social and Management Science, in the person of Professor Olusola Oyero. You're highly welcome, sir. Sitting right behind him, we have a management staff in our midst. We're talking about the Dean of the Student Affairs of Anchor University Lagos. Please, can we put our hands together as we welcome Dr. Oyero. You're highly welcome, sir. We also have in our midst one of our lecturers who has been helping us to chair this occasion and to push this department forward. We have in our midst Mr. Olaniyi Ayodeji Peter. A round of applause for him, please. And we have our special guest of honor today, who is our guest speaker. He is a man of worth, and I want to call him a man of timber and caliber. I'm speaking of no other person than Dr. Shall I call his name? Do you know his name? Do you know his name? Do I call his name? Okay, anybody that will give me money now will call his name. Or who is ready to pay for his name? Anybody who is ready to pay for his name? We know I'm... Please, can we put our hands together as we welcome Dr. Oludare Ogunyombo. You're highly welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for appreciating. We appreciate you. Thank you. Can we please sit down? Thank you. And the next set of person or guests I want to introduce today, a set of students who have created a mark, who have laid down a print on the sand of soil in Anchor University. This set of students are always the first set of students to make any events come through. If you've seen any event in Anchor University today, I can tell you it's a result of these students. The Students' Week we are having today is as a result of a particular week that was fixed by a particular student. Please, can we put our hands together for the mass communication students? Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much for coming. If you like yourself, put your hands together for yourself. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And thank you for organizing this occasion for us. Well, I remain your humble host, Matthew Joy, and with me, I have a co-host, Erichalu Ebube. Please let's put our hands together for him. Straight up, I will be inviting the Dean of the Faculty of Social and Management Science for his welcome address. Please let's put our hands together for Professor Olusola Oyero.
Good morning, everyone. Dean Student Affairs and my good friend, a thoroughbred professional and a great scholar, Dr. Ogunyombo, students of Mass Communication, Anchor University. I'm supposed to welcome you, but I'm going to do more than that. I actually have a mixed feeling given these comments, because today's event is a very important one. The things you are going to learn with this program are not things you will read from books. Probably you may not get to hear them in any of the books available for your Mark 111 or Mark 421 and all the rest. So my thinking is that when you have a program of this nature, students should be excited. And you will see the excitement by their attitude. But I was surprised that coming here this morning, this room was just dotted with very scanty students. Whereas our guest speaker had already arrived. I am greatly displeased about that. I know that you might be feeling, why will Dean be talking to us like this? In the face of our guest, don't worry. Dr. Ogunyombo is a family member. He's part of the family, so I can talk to you, I can rebuke you right in his presence, because we run the same value, we know the discipline we stand for in the discipline, in the profession, and in our discipline. So you can easily relate with what I'm talking about. Maybe I will even enjoy him to help me scold you more before he leaves. He's a very nice guy. He doesn't like to scold people. But be that as it may, I would like to say that for future events, you try to show commitment. Incidentally, mass comm department began town and gown events in the history of Anchor University. I hope you are aware of that. And after we commenced the program, more departments have copied that initiative. And in this semester, I've had the privilege of departments inviting me, the departments in our faculty inviting me to witness their own. And those programs were very well executed. Now, why will it not be that the department that took the lead in starting such a program is now drawing back? I do hope that subsequently you will do better than what you are currently doing. Well, all of this notwithstanding, I would like to enjoin every one of you to give very rapt attention to all that will be communicated to you today. Just as I said, things you are going to learn from this interaction are not things you get to learn in the classroom. And I tell you, somebody's destiny is being redefined today. True. I remember the first Town and Gown series that we had. You remember that we had an MD from an insurance company coming to talk to us about corporate image and all of that. And I remember there was a particular student from economics department that came to that program. And right there in that program, he could say, I have now decided my career path. It was in 411. I think he has graduated now. You know, All through the years he had spent in Anchor, first year, second year, he's like, was just coming to school, was coming to class. He never knew what he was going to do. But he came to a program organized by another department, and right there, he was able to have a clear understanding of how he will make headway in life. That could be another person's story today, depending on your attitude to this event. On this note, I would like to appreciate Mr. Oyero for making this possible, because I remember that he was with me in an event where he met Dr. Ogunyombo, and it was when I took the initiative. I wasn't the one that said he should go and meet you, even though I know you've been doing this for other universities and all of that. But it was when I took the initiative. I said, look, I think we need this person to come around to Anchor. And he came to inform me about it. I said, that's fine, you have taken the right step. So, where is Ayo? Thank you very much for, let's give our hands together, put our hands together for Mr. Olani. And I want to appreciate our Dean of Student Affairs for making it to this space. I think the Dean likes mass comm students. Don't you think so? Let's put our hands together for the Dean. Thank you so much. And of course, I would like to appreciate our speaker for today, Dr. Ogunyombo, for making it to this place. Even at the shortest notice, because I was thinking the program would be next week. I was surprised when I told me, oh, they have concluded it will hold today. I said, and he's still able to make it? He said, yes. And then when I met him, I said, yeah, I have to put this aside so that I can come. You know, that is a great sacrifice on his part to have come here today. And we are very grateful, and we know that you are going to be a blessing to us. On this note, I wish you the best in this event. God bless you.
Please, let's give our Dean a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Well, before our amiable guest comes forward to speak about the topic for today, I'll be giving an introduction to the team so that each and every one of you would know what you are to expect. And while doing this introduction, it's very important for you to pay rapt attention, because while our amiable guest will be speaking, we're going to know who a content creator is, why it's very important, and why we should do that. But let me start by giving a brief introduction, because it's going to be brief. Content creation is the contribution of any information to any medium, and most especially to any digital medium for an audience. And content creation, they are expressed through any type of medium of communication, through speech writing and through publication of any sort. And some of these content creation, they include website maintenance and updates, blogging, photography, videography, and social media managers. And one thing you should know is, when doing content creation, you have the right content and you're putting the exact kind of message, you have better communication with your audience. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ebube, for that. Right next on our program is a citation of our guest speaker today. But before that, I would love to tell you a very brief short story. I come from a country that is known for a particular trait and habit. And the trait and habit of that country is that of every event that is being hosted or organized in that particular country, you must always hear one announcement. And what you will hear is that either the MC comes up and you hear, please, the owner of CGA E42F3 to please go outside and repark. But I want to tell you one beautiful thing. I've been to various events and I hear that a lot. Burial, wedding, naming ceremony, formal events, conferences, seminars, name it. You must always hear that announcement. So what he's trying to say is that there must always be one person that will always park wrongly. But in Anko University, Lagos, we've hosted various number of events, convocation, matriculation, town and gown events, seminars, quiz and debate, and we have never heard such an information. Please, can we put our hand of reference for ourselves, please? Please applaud Anko University. Anko University is in Nigeria, and we have never heard, please, the owner of CJ Benz Limousine Lexus, please go outside and park. What have we said? Our guest speaker, sir. Anko University is indeed a home to be. It's in Nigeria, but it's outside Nigerian habits. So we're expecting that you bring your lovely children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren to Anko University. Thank you very much, sir. Without wasting much time, I would love to go straight to the citation of our guest speaker. And I please respectfully, humbly ask the guest speaker to rise as I read his citation. Yoruba people will always say, oh, it is plenty. Dr. Oludare Ogunyombo, please permit my pronunciation, is a member of the Advanced Research Projects Agency. Is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. He is an associate director at Brooks and Blake Nigeria Limited, a perception management outfit. He is an associate lecturer in the Department of Mass Communication at Caleb University Business School, Lagos. He is a facilitator and examiner at the National Open University of Nigeria now. He has over 25 years of work experience in development communication, journalism, and marketing communication. For more than a decade, he has overseen the Brooks and Blake Media Research and Linkages team, which is responsible for collaboration, monitoring, and intelligence gathering on a national and international level for multinationals and international organizations such as the Dubai Tourism Board, Guinness Nigeria PLC Diago, Galaxy Clean Consumer Nigeria PLC, Unilever Nigeria PLC, NCN Nigeria, Cadbury Nigeria, Lafridge Africa PLC, and Henkel Nigeria Limited. Please, do you just stop clapping? We have an international guest in our midst, and you have stopped clapping. Please, let's clap for him. I'll go ahead. Oludare is a member of the Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, the African Council of Communication Education, and the Association of Media and Communication Researchers of Nigeria. He is also a member of the Advertising Practitioner Councils of Nigeria, APCON, the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, and the International Association of Media and Communication Research. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with a standing ovation, can we give it up for Dr. Oludare Ogunyombo? You're welcome, sir.
Please have your seat. You may sit down, please. What I've seen this morning, for every event I go or I attend, I try to pick out what is unique about that event, organization, the people I meet, and few other indices that are there. So what I can say now is that we have a very enthusiastic set of students that are taking to heart what they are learning. Because I've seen the delivery. The MC is, what level are you? 400. All right. You're almost out. So I can understand the dexterity of your presentation. It means you have taken a lot in there. Because one thing you don't joke with, when you are given the mic to run a program, you know, when you see MCs run programs, it's not easy. Sometimes we will see MC, they are on a program and they are sweating. They are not sweating because the room is not cold enough, but they are sweating because they are trying to mark themselves. Am I doing the right thing? Because one person that can spoil your event easily is your MC. Do you agree? That is one person that can spoil your event very easily. One, when you start calling names the way they are not supposed to be called. You know, I can understand if the problem is intonation. Yes. An Igbo man will say, we always say elu. And a Igbo man like me will always say shh. Is our intonation. But when you are supposed to call Mr. A, you call the person Mr. B, and you have to be correct. The problem. What will happen is that your audience starts getting agitated. And when your audience starts getting agitated at your event, the next thing you see people going out one by one. At the end of the day, you find out they are talking to chairs. How does that bring us to ideation? When you are given something to do, the first thing you look at is, how best can I deliver this thing? The dean spoke about students coming late for an event like this. Well, I may understand because Mr. Oludare told me something earlier. Because when I got in, truly, there were just about 4 people here or 5. And I'm like, where are the students? He told me that there was an activity yesterday. Some are just coming back and things like that. I said, okay, let's give them 1 hour. We're supposed to start 10. Let's start 11. Because I understand the scope and the dynamics of students' activities. But like the dean said, we should not take that for granted. You see, our profession, the communication profession, be it journalism, be it public relations, in whatever specialization you are looking at, will take prompt attendance very seriously. Let me give you an example. A lady was sent for an assignment. And that assignment, the governor was going to come. If you are familiar with how politicians or government officials operate, it's very hard for you to see a government official in the position of a governor sit through a 1-hour program. Very hard. But the governor decided that he was going to come for that particular program. But these journalists felt there's one language you always say, there is Nigerian time. It's Nigerian time. There's nothing like African time or Nigerian time. Time is time. I saw a signboard in front of your hall there that was speaking to time. Time is what? Time. It says success is not, the signboard is somewhere there. It says success is not by chance. So if you want to succeed, you have to be deliberate about it. So what happened to this journalist? The governor decided to come on time. The event was 9. The governor got there by 9 and spent only 15 minutes. Only what? 15 minutes at that event. The journalist came by 9:30. She did not even take time to even ask, has the governor been here? She took it for granted that the governor will always come late. By the time the event rounded up, she was now so, for the lack of a better word, so gullible enough to go and now ask one of the organizers to say, is governor not coming again? And that one look at her and say, governor. He came 9 o'clock, he delivered his speech and left. That journalist could not leave that spot. Do you know why? How do you want to go and report to your editor in the office that an assignment that he gave you, that he told you starting 9, a governor came, who should have been the lead, whose speech should have been the lead, and you did not have it because you went there late. So what does that tell us as students? That we need to grow our capacity to deliver. I don't know who is, sorry, can I have my slide on? So that we can now see how do we tie these experiences to our ideation and content creation capacity. Next slide, please. The next slide. All right. We all know what communication is all about, but pay attention to those areas. Sorry, can I have this slide off so that you guys can see better? This particular, or everything is connected, I guess, so that you can see it a little bit better. No, not this one. I think it's this one. Or can you see it? You can manage it. All right. Now pay attention to that area that are in yellow. Communication is about driving your inner thought. Do we agree? If I'm talking to you now and you're struggling to understand what I'm saying, two things may be happening. Is either I'm not using the right words to communicate to you, or you are not receptive enough to take what I am communicating. Have you ever been, you have a lot of ladies here, have you ever been to a market and you are trying to haggle a price for a particular product, and the woman says, "Ejo kilewi," after you have spoken for like 2 minutes? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? She wasn't listening. So you were talking, she was hearing, but she wasn't what? Listening. No, there are three different things. So it's about your inner thought. And remember that in communication, you are trying to also deal with different behavioral approaches to what you want to say. How does that come in ideation? We will see it later. Please, the next slide. The next slide. All right. I'm still talking about communication because it's a universal phenomenon. It's a universal component. There is a scholar, I don't know, you must know this, that we cannot communicate. Have you ever heard that expression before? We cannot not communicate. And that is what brought the idea of, even when you are silent, you are doing what? You are actually communicating. It's just that it's not verbal. Now, communication requires a conscious intent. Conscious intent. Another word for conscious intent is deliberateness. You want to deliberately look out for that your audience wants to have. So, remember, we are talking about it in terms of understanding it, maybe in terms of signs, symbol, and semiotics. What are signs? What are symbols? What are semiotics? Now, this that you have here represents anchor. That is a symbol. Sign points out something to you. Semiotics are image that tells you something about something. If you are interested in advertising, you cannot understand these three concepts because you will get bruised. Why is it that sometimes if you are coming somewhere and you see a poster, you immediately know what that poster is saying without anybody telling you anything? Because that semiotics has become what we call motives. That is things that are regularly used that people now understand what it means. Now, why am I laying all this background? Because when you talk about ideation, when you talk about content creation, if you don't know where you are coming from, you are not likely to know where you are going. That is the idea about, that is what it is about ideation and content creation. Next slide, please. Now, what is communication practice? We have seen how all of this issue of communication is. When we talk about communication practice as involving talking, listening, writing, and reading or performance, witnessing, or more generally doing anything that involves messages. Is there anything that have been said in all of this that you are not doing, that your courses are not talking to you about? If you want to become journalist, when you are a journalist, you are likely to do two things. Either you are writing or you are talking. Is that not so? If you are an advertising person, it's either you are dealing strategy or graphics. If you are a public relations person, you are dealing writing, you are dealing talking, you are strategic thinking. If you are a development communication expert, you are doing something in that area too. So how will this help you? But first, let me ask. The MC, the other guy, spoke briefly about what I'm going to talk about. What is ideation in the first instance? Next slide, please. What is ideation? Before you do that, you must know that in your communication, sorry, I think the light is so much on this, that is why I'm not seeing it very well. Probably I would have used a black background, but I didn't know I was going to have this much light. What you want to do is to have effective communication. And to have effective communication, look at those things that are important for you to have. Now, if you do not understand all these elements, you are talking about precision, you are talking about reliability, you are talking about consideration for your recipient, you are talking about your sender's courtesy, you are talking about your feedback mechanism. In effective communication, which is going to be driven by ideation, if you don't understand this, you may not exactly know what you want to do. I'm still going to bring all of this home. So, you being in a classroom, to you being in a consultancy, because we are trying to prepare you for the next level. As students graduating from Anchor, when you finish, and I want to employ you in my office, there are some basic things I expect that you will know. There are some things that I will train you on. That is one of the things we are trying to do with this. So, you need to understand this sector for you to have effective communication. Next slide, please. Now, let us just go. What is ideation? Let's pay attention to those areas highlighted in yellow. It is a creative process. A what? Creative process. Drives creativity. Can you tell me? Can anybody think that you know? One thing. Inspiration. Alright? When you have inspiration, what do you now do with that inspiration? You create. Okay? But before you create, something must happen. You imagine, yes. You commit it to what we call critical thinking. What brings out the creativity in you is how well you can what? Think. Critical thinking. Have you ever heard when they tell somebody that, let me use the language, they say, onjabo. That is, this one is just saying anything. Why do people use that slang? Because that person seems to be in what makes sense. So, as an ideation person, there are companies in Nigeria that all that they do is to give you ideas. There is a company in Nigeria called Idea House. You can Google them and find out. My former MD is the MD of that company now. All they do is ideas. Another one called the Playhouse. So you they are looking for people like you to come and work with them. Why? Because idea is about, when you talk about ideation, you are playing around different concepts. So it's about creative thinking to develop new ideas. You can develop a new, like for instance, now look at this mic. And let me say, like 1982, 83, 84, we did not have mic like this, wireless mic like this. We have some bogus mics that their head is like Agbari Ojuku. You know? But gradually, from the idea generated from those mics, we now have this that I have now, called wireless. But do you know now we now have lapel mics, lapel microphone. Do you know we have that? All are coming from what? Idea. So one idea can lead you to so many if you commit it to critical thinking. Now, look at that last definition. Pay attention to those yellow areas. You use what? Sketching, prototyping, brainstorming, brainwriting, what's possible idea to create ideation. Have you heard about the word brainstorming before? Who can tell me what brainstorming is? Brainstorming? Brainstorming. You've heard of that before, Abi? What is brainstorming? Since you have heard about it. The lady in red. Yes, red flower shirt. What is brainstorming? Okay. It could be one, not exactly, but you have tried. Brainstorming. My cameraman, okay, let me take that lady in right. Thank you very much. So that's what she has said. You want to say something? Okay? Okay? Okay. She's talking about trying to generate ideas in your mind. Now, let me connect the three things you have said. In ideation, the concept starts with you. Identifying the source, it starts with you. If I give you this flower, that I am a marketer, I want this flower to be sold in Nigeria. Take, what's your name now? What's your name? Tolu. Tolu, I want your company to develop an advertising campaign for me to sell this flower. The first thing that you'll be thinking of, what is in this flower? What is in this flower? It's ordinary flower. So ideation starts with what? You. Then you now go to your colleague in the office and say, Emma Bamike, those are ways you start generating ideas. Never think that you are a pinnacle of knowledge. That is one principle of ideation. Never think that you are what? A pinnacle of knowledge. Because when you do that, what sets in is arrogance. So, once arrogance sets in, we are breaking the chain of ideation. What do I say? Remember, our topic is growing your ideation and concentration capacity. One thing that may not allow you to, if you allow arrogance to do what? To set in. What he is saying will not enter medulla oblongata. It will just be dropping off. So you have to avoid that. Now, I have been able to tell you what ideation is, Abi. Let's now look at content creation. I will now create a connection between the two of them. And I have the next slide. Okay, they are trying to work it out. All right. Make it screen. All right. Now, we've spoken about ideation. Ideation takes you into content creation. Ideation does what? You in content creation. Because if you don't have an idea of what you want to write about, can you write? No. So, content creation is like bringing together outputs of your ideas to be able to create a compelling message. That is my definition of it. Bringing together what? Your ideas to be able to create a compelling message. Have you ever seen an advert before? By the time you see the advert, some of you will say, what type of advert is this? Why do you think people say so? Lady in orange. Look, why do you think it can happen like that? Yes. Sometimes we look at the product that is being advertised and you are looking at the advertisement and you are like, where is the connection? Two things might have happened. Either the ideation process was faulty or the content creation was what? Faulty. I'm speaking about this generally regarding all generation in mass communication. I'm not speaking because if I'm to take everything one by one, it's a different class. Journalism, relations, there's few different skills around each specialization, but I'm trying to take it from a general perspective. Which means that you want to write about something and a strategy. So, if you are talking about content creation, that is what it is. Identifying a new topic you want to write about, deciding which form you want the content to take, formalizing strategy, actually producing it. Now, when we talk about content creation, this generation does a lot on social media. So we don't have those long epistles that we were used to in those days. Who know this advert? I know our daddy here will do. Omo, super blue, Omo, where she brighter, and it shows. Anyone? I'll be so shocked if anyone should know it. I'm so shocked. Now, but we know Shalatem. We know Barashagi's advert. Don't be shy. Just talk. We are friends. We know Barashagi's advert, have you? Why does it connect to you now? Because those who created it understands you. They know that is what you will know, you will see easily. So you as a content generation person, because if you are working in advertising, content generation unit is a unit on its own. Creative writing. You know the way advertising works? There is a unit that generates ideas. The first part. Those ones, they will generate ideas. Once they generate the ideas, they will call those who are in content development and say, this is our idea. When they download, those who are in content department will put the content and give it to the creative unit and say, this is the messaging. The creative unit will now sit and again create ideas. What images should we use? Should we use a girl that is smiling? Should we use a girl that is frowning? Should we use a girl that has shuku? Do you use a girl that has her hair down? Should we use red? Should we use white? Those are what you do with content creation. Now, in growing your capacity on ideation, remember, you want to deal with marketing. Who can tell me the 4 P's of marketing? Don't mumble. Let's. I've been hearing responses from here. Okay, let me take you because you raised your all right?
Price, products, place, and promotion.
See the way she said it. Price, product, place, and promotion. She tried to let me say, I sabi am. Abi? But do you know that 4 P's has been increased? To what now? To include what? Who can tell me? Please, next slide, so that we can see. This is the point of convergence. Hold on. You know, between ideation and content creation, I told you, look at that. While ideation is about what, content creation is about how and why. Do you remember your 5 Q's and H? So, content creation, you're talking about the what. Ideation. What do we want to do? Then content creation is about how do we want to say it and why is it so? You want to go. If you don't understand this, you are likely to be mixing it up. And when you mix it up, it's like it may be like putting the cart before the horse. Now the next slide, please. You now see why. See. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to have this much light, so I would have used a dark background. Sorry for that. Now you talk about your product, promotion, price, and what? Place. Look at other things that have been added. Can you see it? You can tell me those. Can you see it? People, process, and what? Physical evidence. Why did we add people? You have always said price, product, and place. Price, product, promotion, and place. Who are you promoting to? Is it not human beings? So if you don't understand how to create content for the humans that you are using for or you are promoting the product to, then you will be challenged. So in content creation, look at this 7. That is what you are working with. That is what you are working with. Who can tell me one product that has been very huge content creation based on all this that you can think you think create their content has been very good? That product has connected, one product is in my head that has connected almost all generations. Milo, Indomie. My generation did not eat Indomie. I'm talking about Coca-Cola. Thank you. Thank you. Look at Coca-Cola. Very hard will any generation not connect with a Coca-Cola advert. Do you remember Tunde, Cola, Bumi? Share your Coca-Cola. The content, that content connected with you and I. So as a content creator, as an ideator, what I am pushing forward, does it connect to the people? What will help you to see that connection? Exposure. So as a content person, as somebody who is growing in content creation, you cannot afford to just be, when you finish in class, after the teacher said, we said it, now the day is over, light is drawing now, amen. And you go to your room. The next time they are seeing you is the next morning. It will not work for you if you are a content creator. Ask me why. You need to expose yourself. As any one of you try one day to just walk through this campus, just walk through. Look at how people walk. Look at how people converse. Look at where you have clusters of people. I'm giving you practical examples now. That is what we do. Look at what, you stand somewhere afar, you see 3-4 girls talking. Look at what is in their hand. What are they eating? Is it biscuit? Are they drinking Coke? Let me give you an example. Pepsi. When Pepsi was to do a campaign in Unilag, it was a fight between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Some of us know more of in Unilag. If you have been to Unilag, they wanted to take that square. The marketer discovered that most times when the girls there are talking, there's always a bottle of Pepsi with them. And remember to go and tell the company, we can sell more here. Let us do communication messages that will address these girls. Let us take this square. They took the square, call it the Pepsi Square. Boom! Their sales in University of Lagos went up. That is a content person. You have to expose yourself. Expose yourself wisely anyways. Wisely. Don't expose yourself to things that will give you dissonance. Things that will not allow you to think well. But expose yourself to things that will make you think and generate ideas. What is your network? How well are you networking? Are you the type that if they are that girl, if she does not relate with anybody, she's always on her own, you may not be a good content person. You may be a good writer eventually, but not maybe a good ideation person. Even when you read, you need to expose yourself to other things. I read a lot. But one thing I don't joke with is when I see opportunity to network. When you are in the brainstorm session, do you know what we are doing in brainstorm session? We are exchanging experiences, ideas. So if you are not exposed, where do you want to get the idea from? The profession you are in is a profession that thrives a lot on ideas. It thrives a lot on what? Ideas. Even in journalism, you have attended an event and you want to write your story. The first thing you come up with is your what? Story idea. I know you were taught like that. The first thing you come up with what? Your story idea. What that means is that even as a journalist, so when we're talking about ideation and content, it's not just about advertising and publications. As a journalist, you have attended an event. What is the story in this event? It's about ideation. And when you are bringing out that story, you want to bring out a story that will be compelling, that those who are going to read it will see it. I've said a lot of things. 1, exposure. 2, product. So appropriateness of your language is very key in content creation. So that you will not be speaking above the head of your what? Of your target audience. The same way it affects younger audience is also the way it affects the older audience. Research will help you to do all of that. So, you can see that for everything you have learned in class, the application of it is very important in this idea and content generation. So can I have the very last slide so that we can run that through? Because I want to do a little exercise so that I can understand if you get where we are going to. And this is what I was talking about, ideation. Empathize, define, ideate, create a prototype, and test. Here I was talking about ideation. Who can tell me why we need to test before we go out with it? Who can tell me why we need to test? Who can tell me why we need to test? Yes, we need to tell us why do we need to test? No right or wrong answer. Okay, you want to say, okay. Yeah, your name? No, the lady at the back.
So as to know where we have mistakes, so as to correct them.
Fine. Please, a round of applause for her. That is it. Because, like I said, ideation is a continuous process. That is why I use the word growing. It's a continuous process, which is why we say you must not see yourself as a pinnacle of knowledge. Because by the time you are testing, don't be based on, although you are the one that brought the idea, your colleagues can tell you, you see this particular idea, it cannot work. And they will give you examples reasons why it cannot work. If you are arrogant, you will not listen to. So I've spoken about what you can do professionally and what you can do on your personal self. The next slide, please. The next slide. Now, this is the process of content generation. Okay, what I will do for you, I will leave this slide. You can get it later. I will leave. Now, why I need you to pay attention here is that look at that circle. Is there an end to it? There is no end. Now, let's start from down to your left. What do you have there? Be what? Be current. All what I've been saying since is about what? Being current. Being current. My company will be going for a pitch next week. And we were discussing that pitch yesterday. We want to pitch for a business. When we read the pitch note, if you are not current, you cannot answer any of those questions. You know what a pitch is? Can you tell me what a pitch is so that we know I'm saying all right. What is a pitch? You must have been taught, I'm very sure. Yes? Is it what?
Small piece of work in order to present your ideas.
A small piece of work in order to present your ideas. Well, a good attempt. Yes. Who can tell me what is a pitch? What is a pitch? Yes, the lady in green. You can say your name before you answer the question.
I'm Joanna Jayola. Like a request to submit your story or article.
Okay. A request to submit your story or article. Okay. Let me just put it together. Let me join the two. It's a briefing document provided by a client or a prospective client on a particular campaign in which the client is requesting for interest. And that interest means you developing a plan. You developing what? A plan. That is what a pitch is. A pitch is that document. A pitch document is that document that is given to you. The process of you going to defend your own plan is called the pitching process. You have the pitch document. That is what they send to you. Sometimes they call it briefing document. Then you now go to pitch. When you are pitching, that means you are trying to convince the client of your plan to achieve that. Maybe in some other class, I will come and talk to you about plan. Have you done anything on developing plans for pitches? Have you done anything like that? Okay. Maybe when you resume, I will look for time. Because who is interested in public relations here? Public relations? Raise up your hand very clearly. Okay, I think I have a lot of apostles here. Who is interested in journalism? What of advertising? Okay. What of broadcasting? Okay. It's fine. No Allah. We will do everything. Professor Oyero is here. So we can always conclude on when to come on. Because, what we are, like he knows, we were at a workshop 2 weeks ago. And one of the things we're pushing strongly now is we want that are ready for market. Not 100%, but nothing less than 60-70% for market. And that will also increase value. The value in terms of money, in terms of accolade and everything. We'll do that some other time. Now, we talk about being current. See the next one. Say, be and stay current. Be current now and become obsolete in the next week. It has happened to me before. I didn't know that. We went to a client and we were discussing. And God, my colleague who was with me, knows that thing has changed. I didn't know. So immediately I spoke, the client looked at me, and my colleague now said, well, that is true, but actually just last week, this happened. That was what covered me. That thing that happened, I didn't know. Truly, I did not know. So if you want to be a good content creator, current, then you must understand your audience. So this is like a summary of what I have been saying. You must understand your audience. Audience analysis is very key. It's very key. Where can I meet this audience? What platform can I meet? No, social media is there. There are some audience you can only meet them on Twitter. There are some you meet them better on WhatsApp. There are some you meet them better on Instagram. There are some you still meet them in the newspaper. And all of these platforms have different language or languages that you use to communicate with them. When you are writing for, I know they must be taught this at 200 level. When you are writing for print, is it the same thing when you are writing for broadcast? I know you must have also learned about PR writing, public relations writing, for those who are interested. If you are writing for public relations, you know that it's a little bit different from when you are writing for journalism. So if you don't understand this audience across board, you will not be able to write well. Then, what about your skills? What was the first skill I mentioned regarding ideation? Critical thinking. Critical thinking. Then your problem-solving skills, you must develop it. Your problem-solving skills, you must develop it. Let me give you an example. When Indomie had that problem of that batch that was killing children, do you remember? Okay? One of our agencies handled that project. What had to really come into that execution was the problem-solving skills, because your communication must be right. You are talking to mothers. How can I talk to these women, most mothers, that they will still buy Indomie? How do you write in such a way that people will see that you have empathized and you understand? In 2020, I handled a project in Ibadan. I don't know if some of us heard about it. One boy that fell inside machine and died, and the machine cut him into two. Do you remember? I was the one that handled the media. I was going to Ibadan almost every week to go and meet with journalists and media houses in Ibadan. We were careful about, you cannot just say the boy was careless, so he fell down and fell inside. Can you say that? We have to use for words that will pacify the parents of the boy, that will pacify the family. The boy was a student at University of Ibadan. The student union were also saying they no go agree. We have to look for words that will also do what? Pacify them. And that job was given to me and my team. Go and create content for us. Go and create both content that we put in the newspaper. Create content that we will speak about in the broadcast. Create content that we will put on radio. I did the three. We created content that will go to newspaper. We created content that we are giving presenters in the radio station to use, and those are on the television. So for us, we have to know as students that skill, we must develop it. So when your teachers give you writing, please, this is a slide. Can I see the slide? When your teacher gives you writing assignment, take it seriously. Because the next thing there is that you must write often. When last did you write anything? Apart from your notebook. You, don't look back. When last did you write anything apart from your notebook? You must develop it. I know our phone seems to have taken over our ability to write. In those days, I don't know if I'm free to use this example here. In those days, when we want to approach a lady, we will write. You must, if you are not good, some ladies, some of our fathers that got married to our mothers, some of them, they confess that what made them to marry their husband was because they can write very well. Both English and Yoruba, yes. You see, some of the students, they are looking at me and they are looking like, what is this man saying? That writing skill was there. I know the phone is taking over. A lot of, even me, at some point I just discovered that I was missing my spellings. Why? Because once you type it on the computer will already alight. Even if it is wrong, you already put word under it and it will correct it itself. So I don't even need to struggle. But we should not over-rely on technology. Because as a content creator, your ability to express yourself in writing is very key. However, it could also be on computer. But what we are saying is that it should be consistent. It should be what? Consistent. When it is consistent, we will see that ideas will be flowing. There are some people that all they do is just to create content and they make money. I have a lady that sometimes when I'm very busy and I can't write for my client, I have a lady like that. I just give her 500 words, 50,000 naira. 500 words, she collects 50,000. If she's to write from 800 to 1,200 words, she collects 100,000. So if you can do that once every week for 1 month, if you are not a spendthrift, you will live a good life. But I have to give you the entrepreneurship aspect of this. If you are not a spendthrift, you will live a good life. There are people in agencies, we just employ them just to be developing content for us. In my company, that part is under my own unit. So If you grow your skills in that area, you will live a good life. We are rounding up. Find a voice. Find a what? A voice. If you are writing for, let me say, public relations, and let me, like that person that I said fell inside the machine, I'm writing for the company. I have to look for what I will say that people will empathize with my company. So that by the time people read it, they will say, company, and they are trying, this boy must have done something. I don't think the company is at fault. Remember what we said first, empathize. When I understand my audience, I understand the company position, I can find a voice. This is the process. Understand the audience, understand the company position, then you will be able to find a voice. Then when you are writing, try as possible to be expressive with examples. Depending on what you are writing anyways, but just be expressive with enough examples. Don't talk about yourself. Not that you cannot talk about yourself at all, but don't make it too, how will I put it now? Don't make it blatant, for the lack of another word. Please, can you quickly go to the slide after this? There's an example. Thank you. Now, I want you to read this example and tell me the difference. Acme is a leading manufacturer of valves. We have better quality, better customer service, and we've been in business since 1987. Look at the next one. Acme delivers confidence to its customers who rely on our valves to reduce their downtime by 13% compared to competitors. Customers are also able to eliminate overstocks and stockouts because our supply chain management system is fully optimized to meet their needs. Which of this write-up is likely to attract customers more? Why do you think so? Why? Let me have your perspective. Why do we think so? You spoken earlier. Anybody, before I pick her, why do we think so? Okay. Please give her the mic quickly.
The second example is more detailed and gives the audience the perception to purchase the product.
We are creating three things in that second example. You have empathized with the audience. You are showing your value proposition to the audience. And you are also showing your projection for success for both your company and the audience. Your product, this is what your product does. So if anybody does not even know what that product is doing, reading this, they will know what the product is doing. So in content creation, this is also very important. Please, the slide, next slide. Next. Yeah. So these are parts. We've been talking since. I want to hear you speak on now. I have decided to choose this particular product because I know you may not think, why do I want to do this? So let's do what we used to do there in CU. Let me have 2 boys, 2 girls. Volunteer first before I pick. Volunteer, 2 boys, 2 girls. 2 boys, 2 girls. 2 boys, 2 girls. Okay, come out. Yes, your name. And that is Tolu Abi. No, what's the name? Oh, marvelous. Oh, you are very so marvelous. I love that name. When something is marvelous, I always like to have them. Please. Yes? Another lady. Yes, please come up. Yes, what's your name? Joanna, please come. I need 2 guys. Even in this whole place, I think it look pretty loud. The guy in PS, in purple, please come. Where is Julius? Oh yeah, Julius, come now. Why must you wait to be called? You are quickly going to do something now. So let me pair you. Julius, I pair you with Marvelous. And I pair IK with Joanna. Oh yeah. The two of you, your assignment is this. In just 2 minutes or 3 minutes, look at those two products. These two products. I have given you assignment. I am the producer of this product. Please come up with an idea for me to communicate. This product is a flash. All it does is just that it helps you to copy data from the one computer to the other and save data. Finish. This one is a tractor. It's a toy, but a tractor toy for kids. I want to sell this thing. I have a lot I want to sell. So please, the two of you, just think of what idea you can give me to sell this product. I give you 3 minutes to think. Come together and think. This way, this way. May you come this way, the two of you. Julius and come here. Yeah. What are they doing now? What is this that they are doing now? They are brainstorming. Okay. Just let me know. Julius, you are not talking to Marvelous. One minute more. Now, look at Julius and Marvelous. Then look at Joan and Ike. What is the difference you can notice? Joan and Ike, they are doing what? So, I just want to be sure that, just to know that what I've been saying since, you guys are grabbing. No, don't go. Don't continue. You are learning. Don't worry. There is no score to this. Professor Oyero is not going to score you. All right. We should be rounding up now. We should be rounding up now. Expired. My timekeeper said your 1 minute has expired. So time up. Thank you very much. So can we have the second mic? Okay, I think I can see a mic here. Is it working? Okay. Okay, so what ideas do you have for me to sell? Let me start with team A. What idea do you have for me to sell my USB disk? What idea?
Okay, for the SanDisk storage device, it is a storage device that has been used over time, and you can purchase it because it gives surety that your information or whatever you want to save on it is intact. Then for the other image, that's the tractor for the children. Do you need a toy for your children to enable them get enhanced or to get busy with something in the aspect of recreational activities? Then why don't you purchase this tractor for them, because it keeps them active or motivated?
All right. A very good attempt. Please, round of applause for them. Don't go yet. We are going to critique what you have said. Let's have from the other side.
Okay, we are going to use two mediums to advertise the two products. The first one is television. That's for the tractor. So we are naming the tractor Funfair Tractor. And then the message there is giving your child the driving experience he has ever had with Funfair Tractor. Then we are using television because children mostly watch television. Then the second one,
we use the radio and newspaper medium. For the radio, we have a deep male voice saying, cheap and affordable, fast to send, get anything you desire with Sandix. Then for the newspaper, we just display the picture of the flash, the payoff line, cheap, affordable, and faster to send, get anything with Sandix.
Please, a round of applause for both of them. Now, we can see that both of them, they have an idea of what they want to do. Do you agree with me? Ideation process can be taxing. It can be very taxing. So you may not be able to get the right thing right now. But I know if I give you maybe 3 days to go and read this, you guys will come up with some other fantastic ideas. But the fact that you identify, one, the quality or the attribute of the products that you want to sell. Those are the things I was looking for in this exercise. Do they understand the attribute of the product they want to sell? Do we agree with me that they understand? They understood it, yes? And do they understand the target audience that they want to bring in? The two are a little bit different in that area. Their own proposition spoke to the mothers straight. Yours was embedded. Your messaging was going to talk to them, but it wasn't as pronounced as theirs. Read out your messaging again for the tractor.
Giving your child the driving experience he has ever had.
So, giving your child, who are you talking to? Are you talking to the father or the mother? Who does the purchasing of toys in the home? So they got it by speaking about the mother. But your own message is embedded. So sometimes, that is why you see that some advert copies, you will see that they will use mothers. You will see that they will use fathers. In some, you see that they will use it too. Let me tell you the secret of what we do in the industry. If the research shows us that who eats Indomie, but who buys Indomie? So if you go and do an advert that is predominantly for the children, that does not pick the mother's element, you will not sell. Except for residual knowledge of that product. But you know that the children are not the one buying Indomie. It is their parents. So that is why we have and you see the children dancing around that. And you see the women happy. You see her walk gladly to the kitchen and bring those bowls of Indomie. Let me flip it. If you want to create an advert for Indomie that will target just the children, your content can also be changed. Because sometimes these children are when sometimes their mother takes them to it has I've seen it before at ShopRite. The mother went to a particular stand. In fact, that day I just felt happy that I'm in this profession, that what we have been doing is actually true. The mother wanted to buy a particular product. She was standing in the front of that product, but the child kept telling the mother, "Mommy, no, this is not the one I want. See the one I want." The mother is saying this, "No, this is the one I want." And the mother, I waited. I wanted to know what will happen. The mother eventually changed. She now bought one pack of that one that she wanted to buy, maybe to just satisfy her ego, and bought 3 packs of the one that the child was saying she wanted to buy. And in my head, I'm thinking, probably if it were to be an advert function, the advertiser must have done something that have convinced this child, so much so that he was able to tell this woman. Like I said, this we are saying goes beyond just, even in this promotion. People go to schools and they give your children, your brothers or your cousins, you see them those t-shirts that they will put it in dormitory. What do you think they are trying to do? To catch them. My child will always tell me, until I pay 12,000 for when they brought home, I say, is it that I paid 12,000 naira for? But my child was so excited when I eventually paid for that thing. One book like that. Indomitable, whatever. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that when you understand your audience, your communication will be right, your content will be right, and you'll be able to get out those elements from that content. You'll be able to sell the scan disc. Scan discs are not something to sell because they are very common. But you used a word, you said, keeping your something that makes you fast track or something like that. Able to bring that out. You can say, is it not ordinary USB? You can tell them that there are USBs and there are USBs. Scan this, your best choice. Moving it faster and closer, go with scan this. Moving it what? Faster and closer, go with scan this. What is your own messaging?
Cheap, affordable, and faster to send and receive.
Okay, faster is there. Cheap, affordable. So those are one of the things I'm looking at. We want something that people can put in their pocket and it will go anywhere. Please, a round of applause for them again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that we all, and I love the fact that you guys were paying attention to the fact that Joanne and Ike, they had the jotter, while Marvelous and Julius had no jotter until we call it to their attention. What that means is that teamwork wins. Teamwork does what? Thank you very much.
Please, let's rise up. A round of applause, please. That was quite impactful. Please, a round of applause. If you know you were blessed, you know you learned something new, please. Until I say stop before you stop, please keep clapping. Keep clapping. Thank you very much. Please, let's have our seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said earlier. Wow. Great mass communication students. Greatest of the greatest mass communication students. Greatest journalists in the house. Greatest broadcasters in the house. Greatest public relations students in the house. The greatest advertisers in the house. Please, can I get a round of applause for those of you that you know after listening to this? You're the next Dr. Oludare. Please, a round of applause for yourself. If you are sure that you are going to be the next Dr. Ogunyombo, that is going to be a multi-international personality, a round of applause for yourself, please. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. We've learned a lot. I've been blessed, and if I cannot remember anything, I remember one thing here. He said something. He said, to understand ideation, if you don't know where you're coming from, you won't know where you're going. And I want to say that, anyway, had I know it's not even an option, but I'm sure you were here. Maybe at the beginning of this semester, at least you would have helped me when I was doing Confession of an Advertising Man in my book review. But thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate. I've seen everybody's face. We have questions we want to throw to him. We want to ask him, sir, how do I become the next you? How do I become the best this? How do I become the best that? Are we all ready to throw him our questions? Do we have questions, please? Don't worry. For the first 5 is going what I'm going to be taking. I'll take, because of time, sorry. I'll take the first 5. So if you have a question, please signify by raising your hand. Please, I've counted 2 people only. I have 2 people stand by. Any other person? See, it's not when one person asks question. That is when they will not remember, hey, this auntie has said something I want to say. I'll not come and answer my own question. I'm asking now, do you have questions you want to ask? So, because if I can't and I say stop, that's the end, please. Do you have questions? I have 2 people stand by. Any other? 3? Okay, that's 3. Any other? And I think that's a wrap. So the first person, please, John, please go ahead, sir. I think you may need to come back for the question, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. One of my questions, you're a member of the NIPR, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. What are the major steps to joining the NIPR, and are there major examinations that you need to take, and how many years will it take you? That's my first question. Then the second question, for example, you're a writer, and then you're in Anchor that we don't use Android phones and all of that. You're in Anchor that we don't use Android phones and all of that. And yes, so, and you may not be able to, everywhere you go, write your ideas, quickly pen them down or post them and all of that. What are major writing sites that you know that can provide you with a job? Like, yes, that can provide you with, like, no, writing sites. Yes, yes. That you know, okay, you can pitch to them and all of that. And
you want me to take that? Okay. For NIPR, we have 4 levels of membership. We have the graduate level. I mean, 5 really. We have the student membership. You have the graduate level, you have the associate level, you have the full member, and you have the fellows. Most times what we encourage schools to do is to sign up with the institute for their students to be student members. So when they finish and they fulfill certain criteria, they can either be graduate members or associate members. But most times, if you have started from the school, you see them as associate members. But if your school is not signed up with the institute and you are running communication or mass or public relations as we are going to be having it, then if you graduate, you become a graduate member. Then you proceed from there. So from graduate membership, it will take you 2 years to become an associate member. From associate membership, any institute in the world, because at that level it is, see the years I've counted. 2 years to graduate, that is 2. To associate, that is 4. To full member, which is 5, that is 9. So you need like 15, nothing less than 15 years of continuous practice to become a fellow. Then on the second one, you talk about sites that you can pitch your writing skills to. Presently, I can't give you names of sites, but what I think you can do is what is your interest? So when you do your interest, when you know your interest, you can search out sites that may have those interests. Like for instance, you can start by writing small articles, even for newspapers that are online. There are some popular blogs. If you are interested in them, you can start writing small articles of between 250 to 350 words to them. You can start out like that. So by the time people get to know you, then you can move. Like I told you, there's an entrepreneur leg to this conversation. And the entrepreneur leg to this conversation is that you can actually grow your own. Some of us I'm guilty, I must confess, that I've not been able to really engage my social media platform. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. But I can count how many times I post on those platforms. Not because I don't want to, but because I've been very busy. But a few of you have the time. I know you may not be using, and you are not using phones on campus. Is that what you said? Okay, but when you get home, you use phones. Am I correct? All right. I think it's about how best you use the opportunity you have. When you have the opportunity, you can create your own blog. Get something that's of interest to you. Blog creation is free. If you like edu, you can start out with that. You can start writing content about edu. If you like fashion, you can start writing content about fashion. If you like food, I have a friend, the site is about food. Food. Different food. And she gets people to call her, to send recipes to them, for them to cook those delicacies. So, like I said, pick your interest, then your interest will drive what you can write. So, but my sister, if you get to where you are and you're able to look at the blogs and see the ones that are of interest to you, why not? You can write to them. You can write to them. You know, Vanguard, Punch, all of them, they are online now. If there's something of interest to you, you can write an article and send to them. If they found it, what they can do. Even if they don't post it, don't worry, continue. It's just a way to encourage yourself. Okay, the second person, who is the person you identified? Continue. You can stay anywhere and ask a question. Don't worry.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for this beautiful presentation. Well, I have two questions. The first one is, are people born to be creative, or people try to develop their creativity? Like, can you develop yourself to being creative? So, is creativity by nature or by nurture? Then the second question, as creative students that we are, how do we sell our ideas to different organizations so that in return we can get profit?
Okay. Is creativity inborn or built? It's both. It's both. Almost every human behavior goes through that line. It's both. Now, let me give you an example. My daughter is 12 years old. My son is 10. My daughter can speak from today to tomorrow like his father, our father rather, because I also talk when I want to talk. But my son doesn't like too much talk. But pack all these papers that you have in your hand, pack it in front of him. He will make aeroplane, he will make ship, he will make... That is, and I've seen that in him. My son is built. Creativity, I see it in him in that regard. My son doesn't like reading that much. If you tell him to go and read, in the next 5 minutes, he will slip off. But pack all those items in front of him. What do you call this one that they put together? Lego, Abi? If I want, my uncle brought one from London. And all these big puzzles. he can be on those things for the next 4 hours. He will not close his eyes. Making different things, that they have made a rocket launcher, that they have made. There was a day he built something, what they called a castle. And I look at it, I'm like, okay, this truly looks like a castle. And what he even did was to match colors. He was able to match colors, and he was telling me why he put this color here. I'm saying this to anybody who will believe me. I never sat with him, the mother never sat. He was telling me why this color is relevant here, why this one is relevant here. That is him, creativity, built in him. But my daughter needed to be taught. My brother did not like all this one. He even tell his brother, what is this rubbish you are doing? But now, because she is in school, she is now being taught, and she's up. So what I'm trying to say, I'm using my family so that you can understand where I'm coming from. It can be both inborn and it can be taught. But one thing is this: if you discover that it is inborn, don't be arrogant about it, because you have to build it. You can lose it if you don't build it, if you don't manage it. So management is very key. You are talking about how you can sell your ideas so that you can get money. It's almost like what I've told that person. For your generation, for this generation, you guys are fortunate with social media, with technology. You are very fortunate with it. I know people that they don't leave their house apart from when they want to go to market. All they do is on the platform that they have. They sell their ideas there. So if you want to create your own blog, you can start your blog. A reasonable blog. I have a friend, his blog is all about travels. And she had gotten so many international call-up because of that. So what does she do? She just decide that I'm going to Ekiti tomorrow. She will start writing her story, which is what I told you about content creation and ideation. So we start. I was in Osogbo on Tuesday, and on Wednesday I visited the Osogbo Cave. That's the first time I'll be visiting that place, and I saw some very good artifacts, good makeups of artistic impressions. In my head, I was already writing my story, because from the gate, before you get to the groove, you see all of those things. So, if that is your interest, you can do it. I know people whose interest is writing about mountains. There was a lady that I watched on Al Jazeera. Her interest is water. That one really caught me on her words. Water. If you see what she is doing with this camera that this lady is having, creating impressions of how water plays out and interpreting them, I was amazed. So, like I said, what is your interest? Discover yourself first. When you discover yourself first, then you can know how to go about it. Like she said, if you don't know where you are coming from, you may not know where you are going. So first discover yourself, then that will help you. Then by the time people start seeing what you are doing, and remember, I also spoke about networking. Network. Like my prof here. Sometimes, if you have conferences, you have places where you want to showcase, if they say, okay, who is interested, always be the first to raise your hand. I was at Edo State University, Udare, in Benin. We had a conference there, and if you see what those students display, there are 304 level students, you will be amazed. Some of them were called up for international conference because of that. So don't box yourself. Express yourself rightly, then it can help you. The last person.
So I have a written question here, and
okay.
It says, what advice would you give to a developing broadcaster to become better? What advice would you give to a developing broadcaster to become better?
A developing broadcaster to become better. Okay. Do you want to be a newscaster or you want to be a broadcast reporter? You know they are different. There are some people you always say they report, but you never see their face. Do you know they are different? Yes. Newscasters are the ones that come on your set and read the news. The Bimbo days then, the John Momos then. I think now you have people like, what is this other guy? Me and Amekri and things like that. There are some that are the ones that goes to the field to bring the story. Then that's when you hear Tolu and Tolu reporting from somewhere. Now, but whichever case it is, first, is that your interest? I'm very particular about interest when I talk to students. We have had students that will do 4 years in university studying something. I know Nigeria is very volatile when it comes to job placement. But they will tell you, Daddy, I have gotten your degree, take. I want to go and do what I want to do. That is not right. But if your interest is there, 2, try to read a lot on broadcasting. Try to read and get yourself familiar with the contemporary issues in that area. Then when you see it, always try to look for the gap in the industry. There is somebody on TVC. If I check my phone, I will remember her full name. This lady, we work together on this thing. If I check my phone, I remember her name. One small light complexion. She has 3 names. If I remember, I will get. Adedoja Salau Adeniyi. Thank you very much. You gave me the link. Adedoja Salau Adeniyi. Please give her a round of applause. That means she's following. No, she gave me the name. And I can. And I think I can connect the name. She's the one that has been handling the camera. This is what I'm talking about, ideation and content generation. She's the one that has been handling camera. Maybe she's interested in broadcasting or camera work. She's following those who are there. Those are ways to grow yourself. Oludare has received, I can't count the number of awards she has received on investigative journalism. She's very good, both locally and internationally. I worked with her 3 months ago. Very good. So, what is your interest? Do you want to be doing investigative reporting? Do you want to be doing features? Who can tell me what brought out? I don't know, maybe you guys you have an idea, you may not know fully. Abike Dabiri, what brought her out? Do you know Abike Dabiri? Oh, sorry, you may not. Tani contemporary advice, no. I think Adedoja fits our contemporary because Abike Dabiri was very huge on human interest stories. Just yesterday in the office, one of my colleagues reminded me when we were discussing, I've forgotten that leg, Esther, that somebody drove a 6-inch nail into her head. She was one that brought that story out. They drove a 6-inch into the baby's head at 4 years and dropped her somewhere because the mother could not take care of her again. She got several awards from that. So if your area is human interest, brush it up. You see, that is why we are talking about specialization. You may not be a jack of all trades, but be a jack of many ideas. Be a jack of what? Many ideas. You may not be able to do everything, but if they ask you, have an idea. So if you pick that area you want, if it is this camera, I know what some people do with cameras. By the time you see their work, you will be shocked. I just told you about that woman I saw in Nigeria last month. Water. She goes sit beside the ocean. You can imagine how many hours. There was one that she stood there for like 9 hours because she wants to get variation of the water split. 9 hours. I was like, Oyinbo, now they try you. And by the time she brought out at the gallery, she was interpreting. She was telling you how the water was. That was the first time I heard about water behavior. I never heard it before in my life. That something called water behavior. So what I'm saying is, first, is it your interest? Second, identify your niche. Third, follow up with those that you know can give you ideas. Your networking should grow. Like the question you asked about NIPR, I love it. I have benefited a lot from being an association member of so many associations. NIPR, RAPCON, this one, that one. Some people say, you are just wasting your money. You are just, because I have to pay dues. But I have benefited a lot. I have grown my network. I met my boss here through one of such network. Our first meeting was 2015 in Calabar at the ACCE conference. And ever since then, we have been together. We have published together. We have gone to conferences together. And we have been together. He is my friend. He is my guy. I know his house. He knows my house. He has visited me. I visited him. So what am I saying? That when you grow that network, what it does to you is that it keeps you in shape. Contemporary trends. You will know trends. When you see a journalist that was installed that knows trend that is contemporary, you will know. When you see a lecturer that is contemporary, you will know. This is not a lecturer that will bring 1972 notebook to your class and be teaching in 2002. But you will see them talk to you confidently because they have what? Network. So grow all of that and that will help you. Is that the last question? Okay, the very last one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Don't worry, I've decided to, this is past one. I'm with my students. I've uncovered my time. Except if they have something else they want to go and do. I seed my time before, but I've uncovered it. So yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So my question is...
Use the mic well.
Yeah, I have 3 questions. The first one is, how do you understand and convince your audience properly? Because I understand and convince your audience properly. Because I use social media a lot and I write content on social media, and then there are times that I write a content on a particular topic and I feel and other people feel, yes, I've written what they needed to hear. And then all of a sudden there's just one person that will just come up and be like, no, this is not it, this is not it, this is not it. And also, how do you manage that? Because from that person's perspective, other people begin to see I don't know. Yes, yeah, exactly. And also, my second question is, when I was in secondary school, there's this sanitary part called Always. When they come to our school, they only call the female students and then gather them. So when they give us pads, they convince us, and then most of us fell in love with the pad. So when I got home, that one very day like that, my dad, who is a medical practitioner, told me and was trying to convince me against it. Now, always they feel like they should convince girls, ladies, women. Meanwhile, there are guys out there that feel that this pad is not healthy and is not good and is not right for ladies to use that kind of pad. So how do we manage that also? Because these guys can also go out and convince a lot of people and then they fall short of their sales, something like that. And my last question is, as a public speaker, how do you deal with stage fright? Because sometimes many of us, people see us as, okay, we are outspoken and we are people that can approach others easily. But then the truth is that sometimes you don't want to speak in the public or in presence of everybody, irrespective of their age, race, and gender and whatever. There's this fright and this heart beating fast always all the time. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, let me start from the last part. When you talk about stage fright, it's not peculiar to you. It takes practice. The first time I faced an audience of about 3,000 to 4,000, I was 9 years old. The first time I faced such an audience. But what did my father, because it was a presentation that I needed to do with my father of blessed memory. my father, they've given us that assignment like a month before that time. So my father will take me out, take me to where there are a lot of people, and we'll be talking there. He was taking me to where there are people, that I'll be seeing a lot of people. I didn't know that was what he was trying to do. It was later that I got to know. Because that was the first time I was going to face such a crowd. Now, what did he do? He tried to build my capacity. So for you to face crowd, first, if you believe in prayer, pray. And first ask for God's wisdom. 2, before you go for that assignment, do what we call self-practice. Speak to the mirror in your house and give yourself that confidence. 3, if you want to present a paper, you can come, as I say, networking is so good. You can come to the class, call a couple of your friends. I'm not going to be making this presentation somewhere. I just want you to listen. Listen to me and let me know what I have done right or what I have done wrongly. You are building yourself. When you do all of that, if you get to the stage, I cannot give you one direct answer to say this is how you should stand or this is how you should look, because several people have practiced several things. Some people, they just look above all their audience. I'm very fortunate. I can speak with anybody, any number of people at any time, because me, I dey talk. You know, but some people don't have that capacity. So some people, they will tell you, I look above the audience. I don't look at into their eyes. Some will tell you, I look at my presentation slide to give me confidence. But what you should never do is to look down. Because once you do that, what you are telling your audience that you are not confident. Again, learn what we call audience engagement strategy. You can draw confidence from your audience. If it's a presentation that allows you to ask questions, you can draw confidence from them. By the time you ask questions from 3 persons, you will become confident. So like I said, there may not be one size fit all, but you know yourself. Some of these things I've told you, you can do. Speak to the mirror, call your friends, have the presentation with them. You can even, there's something that somebody said she did one day when she wanted to present. She made sure that her friends were sitting strategically in that hall. So when she started talking, she was actually looking at her friends. And those ones, when she looked at them, you know, and that is what the person said. Like I said, so far people have handled this matter in different ways. I told you how my father started, because apparently he understood, and that was how he started with me. So, discover yourself, know yourself. You can try some of these things. You can read books. Performance. I think you should have done that at 200 level. Yes. Part of what you are taught in that thing is how to present. The first time I presented on a television program, I was 8 years old. NTA 7. Oremode. That was the program. I was 8 years. Yes, NTA, and I did it. But our teachers, before we went to that program, Kai, you can't imagine training. You cannot imagine how long they drilled us to do that thing. The second question, you talk about always part, coming to your school, doing this. You see, communication is very important. There is always a target audience. And you have given me an idea now, which I think people can work with. That can call that polar advertising. You are targeting the girls, but the possibility is that the boys may be influencing the girls based on conversation. I can describe that as polar advertising. So, what always has done is not bad. targeting you guys because you're actually your primary market. What your dad was trying to do, maybe he has other reasons for doing that. I may not know. But I've never known always part to be dangerous to anybody. I've worked on sexuality education for like 12 years between UNICEF. So, and always part is one of the parts that they usually push. You know, so I'm not aware of it being dangerous. It may not have the wings. I think they have the one with the wings now that you can use. But your dad may have his own excuse. But what always has done is fine. They've not done anything wrong. If I were to be in their shoes, what I would have just done from this information is to now do further research to know how can I convince the guys and the fathers to help you. Then the first question you asked about, how to understand and convince your audience. We've mentioned part of that. It still boils down to research. So we have been given a brief. Let's even say it is publicly speaking. Like when Mr. Oyero called me, I asked you, how many students are we targeting any particular level? That, you know, what are their expectations? Those were the 3 questions I asked him before I gave this type, because I was given the privilege of giving this topic. Pick a topic for myself. When I asked that question, since it's a general class, I decided to take a topic that will cut across the class. So that is the first thing you should do. Do a research of that audience. What are their peculiarities? What are their expectations? If you are going to be talking to older women or older men, the expectations are different from talking to this generation of students. Even among students, if this class were to be strictly for 400 level students, my approach to this presentation may be different. It may be different. So what I'm saying is, if you understand your audience, do research. That's why I say you should read. Read, ask questions. You read, you ask questions. When you do that, you will be able to appeal to your audience. Then, remember what we said under ideation. You test. When you agree, you look at it, test those things. Like advertising. For every advert you see, for advertising agencies that know their worth, before you see any advert on television, you do what we call test advertising. So you will look at, if you are looking at girls like you, they can pick girls around Lagos, put them somewhere, expose advertisement to them, and watch their reaction. Their reaction, if it confirms what you have, is fine. If it does not, you find a way to get their reaction, get the feedback, and go and apply it in your advertisement. So those are ways you can be able to know your audience and convince them. Ask questions, do your research. You know that if I were living close here and I know I'm coming to here, I can come to your class and just be chatting with you. I'm gathering data, I'm gathering information. So there are so many ways you can do that, including this one that I have spoken about. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've taken all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I know if we allow you, you will still take more. And if we allow everyone, there's still more questions. But because of time, I want to invite to the podium Dr. Ayola, the Dean of Student Affairs, for his closing remark. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Oyero and student of Mass Comm Department. I'm so happy to be in your midst. Although I was not formally invited, I was actually hijacked on the way. And because of the nature of my work, I was actually arrested and brought here. But then it's been a wonderful afternoon, especially what our guest speaker was talking about, ideation and then creating content. And he has demonstrated quite clearly the role of ideas. And I didn't know this was the dimension it was going to take because in my own field, I haven't started with the economic history. I'm now moving towards history of ideas, intellectual history, trying to see the role of ideas in the development of nations and in the world. And the second point that he made, which is also very, very important, you need to read. You need to be interested in things going on around you. There are times when the younger generation will say, I don't want to go to the church, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. In all of these environments, you pick ideas, you pick issues, you understand things, and that will help you in doing so many things. He also said that he employs somebody who does content for him. Now, the world has changed. And if you develop yourself very well, in places like United States, for instance, there are people whose duty is just to generate ideas, and they are paid fantastically. And there was a particular person who, that was what he was doing for a period of time. And I think he retired at the age of 40. He said, he had made enough money. Let me go and enjoy myself. So it's very, very important that we ensure that we read very well, we know what is going on, get interested in everything. You don't know where you are going to end up. Get interested in technology, law, history, economics, etc., etc. And as you do that, you'll be building up yourself and you become a brand on your own. Now, coming to the organization of this program, I want to advise. I know that you students in mass communication, you are ahead of other departments. You've been organizing so many activities. As you continue to do things like this, you gain experience, organizational experience, management experience, and you'll be able to put things together, you'll be able to organize things. As you do that, then you have the skill, you have the knowledge, and you'll be able to do so many things. There are times when people even leave the degree that they have acquired, and they go into event management, and that is becoming a big business now. Again, you have to generate ideas, you have to put things together, you have to organize. So all of these things are available to you. I'm really, really thrilled with what has happened this afternoon. I've gained myself. I now know that ideas are very, very important, and I can generate ideas, and I can also sell ideas. I also want to thank Professor Oyero for his leadership. You know, he was the head of the department before, and then he's the dean. And all he has been doing in this university to ensure that mass communication is at the top. And the department is one of the best in the country. And I'm believing that you will cooperate with your lecturers. What happened in the morning, again, I have to emphasize that. You know, we also experienced that. We experienced that last year when he delivered the public lecture. Very, very stimulating lecture, and then you people didn't turn up on time. The same thing also happened on Tuesday. We brought people from outside, and then the students who came were very, very few. When I was in university, many people came to university. Fela will come, Ganifa Wanyemi will come. We attended all of those events, and there we gained so many things. So please, please, when there are activities in the university, no matter your area of discipline, go there, you will pick one or two ideas. And that is the way it is done. If you build yourself that way, then you will sell. You will sell yourself, you become a brand. And as you do that, God will bless you. I also want to thank our guest speaker. He has really done very well for us. He has a man of very busy schedule. He was able to come here, and the way he related to the students shows that he's not only a professional, he's also an outstanding lecturer. I want to thank you for inviting me. I wish you all the best, and have a wonderful afternoon.
To the very man who has taught us to be a jack of many ideas, not just jack of one trade, but a jack of many ideas, I humbly want to invite to the stage right now Dr. Oludare Ogunyombo, as I also call Mr. Olani Ayodeji, alongside with the president of the Communication Students Association and the vice president of the association for the presentation of gifts.
On behalf of the Department of Mass Communication, Anchor University, Lagos, the staff, and the students, we want to thank you for how you have schooled yourself with your busy schedule. You have honored us. We want to thank you because it's a real privilege. I know what it takes to get you here. The last time I spoke to you, like you are on transit, and we want to appreciate you. The students are very grateful. So also the department. We want to present this to you in the name of the department. Thank you very much, sir, for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, sir. Please, can you please return back for group photograph? First with the Dean of the Faculty of Social and Management Science alone. We'll take the first photograph. We'll go here. Level students, please get ready. 100 level students, please get ready, boys and girls. So 200 level students, please get ready. 200 level students, please get ready. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. 200 level students, can we get on stage, please? Level students. Folashade, why is he sitting down? Before you are, why is he sitting down? Josiah, you're not here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so it's been such an honor to be a part. Okay. It's been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. On behalf of the Department of Mass Communication, Anchor University, Lagos, and the entire fraternity of this institution, first of all, I extend my sincere gratitude to Almighty God for making this event a success. Then on behalf of the department, I am immensely thankful to our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Oludare Ogunyombo, the Associate Director of Brooks and Blakes Nigeria Limited, who spared time from his business schedule to grace this event. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts and actions, and also commend your great level of interaction. This will surely encourage and enlighten us in the future. I'll be failing in my duty if I forget to appreciate the chief host for this event, in respect of the Vice Chancellor of this institution, no other person than Professor Samuel Oyero Bandele, for his support and for the approval of this event. Thank you very much, sir. And also to our dear Dean of Faculty of FSMS, in respect of Professor Olusola Oyero, we are very thankful for your efforts towards hosting today's program and for being the catalyst that stimulated we the students to do our best and standing as pillars of strength. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank all the lecturers of the department for their untiring efforts. Sincere thanks to the head of departments who have made efforts by supporting this event in one way or the other. Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause to the students present here for making the time to be with us today and for helping us make this event a great success. I would also like to thank the people who worked behind the scenes to make this event a success. The executive members of the Communication Students Association of Anchor University, the ICT team, the media team, and all the members of the 4th and 5th estates of the REM. May your ink never dry. Thank you very much. Not to forget our dear online audience. In likes of Peculiar, Nancy, Toby, and others, thank you for joining us in today's program. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Before the closing prayer, we're about to bring this event to an end. Please let's listen to the following announcement. AUO Students present Student Variety Night. It's a night filled with entertainment, and it will take place on the 8th of July, which is today, by 6:30 p.m. at the Multi-Purpose Hall. So please tell everybody and Okay, you just ask for dress code. There's no dress code. Please come as you like. There is going to be lots of competition. There's food competition, singing, drama, dance, lots more. It's going to be a night of entertainment. So please, let's wait to make sure we are here by 6:30 p.m. today at this multipurpose hall for the Students' Variety Night. Also, hello. For 311 students, please don't forget your audition by 3 p.m. at B108. 311 students, do not forget your audition by 3 p.m. at B108. As we bring this event to a close, I invite to the stage Udo Blessing for the closing prayer. Udo Blessing, please, the closing prayer.
Please let's close our eyes for prayers. In Jesus' name. Our Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for this program. Thank you for making it a successful one. I pray, oh Lord, that all what we've learned today, Lord, let it be in our memory and help us to remember in Jesus' name. I commit our guest speaker into your able hand as he goes to his destination. I pray, oh Lord, that you take him to his destination in Jesus' name. As for all of us that is here, I pray, O Lord, that may you grant unto us retentive memory in Jesus' name. Thank you for the successful of this program. For in Jesus' name we have prayed.
Please don't go, there's item 7. And to our guests from other departments, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Please, everyone, let's just be seated and we'll get our food and refreshments.